Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu, and I've got me Elijah and Max. Guys, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
Cool. We've been a while since we've seen Elijah. He's been kind of on and off. He's got his internet back, which is cool for a bit now, which is great.
I've had crappy
Uh,
internet for a couple weeks.
yeah,
Apologize
that's
already.
cool.
I don't
Nice.
know
And
if you
then
missed me or not.
Max,
You probably don't.
we did miss you. We did miss you. And then Max, we lost you at the streaming of
Oh yeah,
Acolyte
my
the other night.
Wi-Fi failed.
I know it's like, oh, we really wanted just to catch it
The
at the same
worst
time.
timing.
Yeah, it really was. But I figured we'll do a big kind of catch up and talk about Acolyte and where we think it's going. Elijah, you've only caught the first episode, right? So you haven't caught part two. So we
Yeah, I
will.
just watched it. I
Yeah.
literally just got
Okay.
done watching it. I was
Okay.
gonna try to squeeze in the second episode before. I'm like, just
Yeah, that's all right.
no.
Well, we'll
I
be
didn't want to squeeze it
minimal
in.
of. Yeah, we'll be minimal
But you can talk
spoilers on the
about it.
second
You can talk
episode.
about it because you know what?
Yeah,
It's like
sure.
kind of like outside of my realm of.
It's outside
I
all of
mean,
our realms, though. I mean, it's
I know it
really
is.
some new stuff.
It's new
It's
territory to everybody. It's new
yeah,
territory to
yeah,
everybody. But
sure.
I don't know. It hasn't hooked me yet. I like it. It hasn't hooked
Okay,
me yet
all
so far.
right, okay.
I'm the opposite. I've been reading High Republic stuff, so it's
Yeah,
not totally out of my realm. But each High
right.
Republic thing seems to introduce a whole new set of characters.
Okay.
So I'm just looking forward to seeing where this story's going.
Yeah, we'll go into that in more detail. We'll give it about like 15, 20 minutes. We'll talk about other stuff that's gone through. What you been up to, Max? Anything interesting? Any new comics? Any new?
Something very interesting this week.
Oh
The
no.
end of the Krakoan age of comics.
Okay.
Uncanny X-Men number 700 dropped this week.
Okay.
Landmark issue. Last 5 years have been amazing for X-Men. They've been in the Krakoan age, living on their own island, having their own nation,
Okay.
really having their own center stage in the Marvel universe.
Right.
And now it's all taken away from them, and that kind of
Okay.
sucks. And
How is it taken away, or is that too much of a spoiler for comic book readers?
honestly, I won't say how it got taken away, but the real reason is editorial.
Okay.
They decided to end it. I think probably to make it more like the upcoming movies.
Fair enough.
I think it's kind of a step back. I think it's really interesting. The X-Men have their own nation, their own set of laws, their own spot in the Marvel universe to really shine without being in a school or on like having to be on their toes the whole time. It was really interesting to
Right.
see them kind of be hated and feared because they were so far ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just want to give a shout out to Jerry Duggan, Joshua Cassara, who worked on Uncanny 700, Jonathan Hickman, who started the Krakoan Age, and all the great writers who just shepherded in. There's 727 issues total in the Krakoan Age,
Right.
and they're all great. It's been one of my favorite X periods, maybe ever.
Cool. Nice.
Are
What
they
else have you been up
working?
to? Oh, sorry.
Are they working Deadpool? What are the new movie stuff? Are they working that into the comics? Are they trying to like meld that together anywhere? Is there a Deadpool
Not
run
really.
that's going to be associated with the movie?
There is a Deadpool run out right now from Cody Ziegler. It's not really trying to tie into anything in the movies. Right now, he has a symbiote dog who's just been running around going crazy. Dog's name is Princess. It's kind of crazy.
Okay.
It's just a classic Deadpool run where he's just, getting meta around the Marvel universe. But it's not really trying to tie into Deadpool and Wolverine. But I think there is a Deadpool Wolverine limited series coming out soon.
Okay, that's kind of
Andy
good. I guess
Kubert.
what I was looking for, because I know they normally do that when a movie comes out. They'll at least have some sort of comic book version of the storyline, in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think they're doing a Deadpool Wolverine story with Andy Kubert. I can't remember who's writing it, but I feel like I saw that announced somewhere.
Cool. Nice. What else, Max? Star Wars Hunters came out this week, right? You've been playing
Oh
it?
yes, I have
Okay.
been playing it actually. It's a
All
lot of
right.
fun.
Yeah.
It's free, so if anyone has a phone or a Switch
Uh-huh.
out there, it's a fun game to kind of jump
Yeah.
into.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
battle
the app.
royale,
You can.
not battle royale.
That's
Just,
the
Is
app.
it just?
You can do it
Sorry.
on your phone.
no, yeah, it's
That's
on your phone. You can download it on your phone.
Right.
It's free to play.
Right.
I think it's a little better with the Switch when you have a full controller. Because I was having a little trouble with my phone, but yeah, it's a fun
Is
game.
it
It's just,
more like? Is it like
play it
Mortal
out.
Kombat kind of game where it's like just two
No,
players
no,
face off against
it's
each other, or?
it's like 6v6.
Okay.
So it's like a big arena. You're just fighting in an arena, trying to capture points or just kill each other.
Okay.
The characters are really where it shines because they're all super interesting. You know, there's
Okay.
stormtroopers, there's robots who think they're Jedi, or droids who think they're Jedis. There's a
Wait, they think
assassin.
they're Jedi's. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure his full backstory, but his name
Right.
is J3D1,
Okay.
and he just has a lightsaber and is wearing Jedi robes and is pretty
Okay.
sure he's a Jedi.
Fair enough. That's cool. But you say it's fun though, so it's like
Yeah,
okay,
a lot of fun.
okay, that's interesting. I mean, I maybe I'll try it sometime, but I also, it's on a phone seems really tiny.
It's a little
weird.
hard on the phone, I will say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It feels like you'd want to play it on something a little bigger just to see it. I guess that's where you just play it off to your TV and play it off. I mean, it seems like there's so much visual stuff around the. At least from what I've seen from the trailers, they show like this really cool visual element to it. So all of that's packed down to a tiny screen. I feel like you'd want to see it on a bigger screen. So
Yeah, it's not the worst,
yeah,
but it's not
yeah,
ideal.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Elijah, been up to anything interesting? Seen anything?
No, it's
Watched
been
anything?
quiet for me.
Uh huh.
I sold a bunch of my miniatures
Nice. Oh
last
yes.
week. I know I didn't get to
Yeah.
tell like anything about it on here at all.
Uh
I
huh.
didn't even like talk about it when I first kept holding off the information.
Right. Right.
But to make a long
But
story
think.
short,
Mhm.
I had made a bunch of these. I actually made, I have a total count of 7 of them right now, but I made
Nice.
5, and the actual venue, the 930 venue,
Mhm.
worked with me, and they listed it on their own website during their anniversary, and I sold all 5 within the first 8 hours.
That's
was listed.
great.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Without them,
That's so cool.
without them
Congrats.
listing it the day before or anything else.
Yeah.
It was just like they listed it, they had it available on their website and posted it on Instagram and Facebook, and just because of that, people found it and
That's
paid for it,
crazy.
bought it.
That's amazing.
So it's good. They sent me all the money. I already got they already sent me the funds and everything. So I sent them all
Wow.
out. People should be getting them like on Tuesday of this coming week. People that I
Right.
sent them out to. So hopefully they repost
Hey,
and
Anchorman.
post photos online of what they're whatever,
Right.
unboxed it or post photos of them
Okay.
it in their place. So
Nice.
now that I
That's
have
great.
that, I can start making another run. Although I just have to
Nice.
figure out some place of my apartment's way too small to be doing this in, so I got to figure
Right.
out some workspace because
Yeah.
it turns my place upside down just by making
Oh
those
yeah.
5
Yeah.
made a disaster room in here. So
That's cool.
that was my accomplishment. Recent accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be talking about Acolyte pretty soon, Anchorman. Just got a few other quick notes we're going to put through. That's cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah. No. And then where will you post the new stuff when you post it? Back through there,
Well, I mean,
930
now
site
that
or
I'm,
somewhere?
the site that their shop is basically a Shopify site,
Gotcha.
and I was holding back from having Shopify for a while,
Right.
but now I think I'm just gonna I got that money they sent me, so I have a little bit more in my business account, and I
Yeah.
think I'm just gonna have to at least try it out because I have
Yeah.
some of the CBGB's ones that I could still list for sale on there and just see how it goes.
Right. And do your own, you meant, basically, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Do,
I mean,
yeah, do your own
basically, I
site,
can
yeah.
still use my own website, which is just
Yeah.
like the domain name, and always have a link just to like the pay page. I mean, it
Gotcha.
basically is. It's just like a shop page where I haven't even got into the program and try to use it. I've just
Right,
gone to the
right.
website and looked at prices or whatever.
Okay. That's
So
cool.
I think that's my next step is just finally setting up an actual payment page or link to anybody can just buy it. List the few
Right,
that I have
right.
available and just get that going.
Gotcha.
Because that's something
That's
I need
cool.
to have. I can't rely on them every
Yeah.
time I make them.
Sure.
It's not going to
Yeah.
be practical.
No.
So,
Yeah. No.
but now
I agree.
also I made the 5, but I have 12 people now that want to be on our waiting list for the next run.
Oh,
So I was
really?
gonna do-
Already?
I was going to do 10,
Nice.
but
Nice.
I might as well just try to make 15 or something, or
Yeah.
at least try to get them go. I mean, just start making. I can
Yeah.
cast the main pieces and just keep casting pieces until I
Yeah.
run out, and then making those boxes is the last major. Those are the
Yes,
major
yeah,
components,
yeah.
and then everything else is
Yeah.
glue and paint and finishing
Cool.
and stuff. So.
Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah. I actually was catching, guys. Believe it or not, I started watching this animated show on Netflix, the Jurassic World Chaos Theory, which is also just
I
being
know
renewed
nothing
for
about
season
that.
two. I turned it on just because I was like, okay, I'm kind of curious, and
From that
I
photo, it
actually
looked like a reboot of Captain Power. Captain Planet.
could be,
Captain Planet. Look at it.
could
It's
be.
like Captain Planet. They all got their
Oh, that's
colors.
funny.
Like
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Wolverine.
That's funny. I actually enjoyed it. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than any of the Jurassic World movies,
Wow.
surprisingly. And the funny thing is, I wasn't until after I watched this first season that I found out that there was 5 previous seasons when there were actually kids on the island, because it starts off that it's like several years later, and it just says they were on the island for a year. And I was like, oh, we get a little
Wait a minute.
backstory
There's
to
five.
this. There's 5 seasons of them already on the island as kids, and I was like, oh, well, okay. I wasn't particularly, interested in that, but I was interested in, how they pick up their lives 5 years later, several years later as young adults, and it actually had a really solid story for a Jurassic Park,
Huh.
based story. So I was like, okay, I'm actually was in. I actually kind of dug it. What was the other stuff I checked out? I also checked out Sweet Tooth season 3, which is like the
I keep
series.
forgetting to watch that.
As an overall series, it's okay. I mean, it's not what I wouldn't go jumping out of my seat for it, but it kept me
That's
interested
what I felt
enough.
about the book. I know some people
Yeah,
really love the book. I
yeah.
couldn't finish it. I got like I think 15 issues in, and then I was just kind of over it.
I'll be honest, the series kind of fell apart in the last 2 episodes for me. It got a little too over the top villain, bad guy vibes, to the female villain, which is was a pity, because it was like there was an interesting thing going on, and by the time they introduced this female villain, she was so far over the top bad guy. It was like, okay, can we tone it down a little bit in this? It was already a fantasy type world, but the actual, what it stood for, the idea of, mankind burning itself out and everything changing, and there's a change happening, that children are born as part animal, part humanoid, because of this disease and a situation that happened in the Antarctic, was an interesting concept. But I mean, it was. I checked it out. I was like, okay, that's cool. Worth checking out if you get the chance. Nothing else really I've seen. Outside of that. Other news though, guys, you check out Moana. Had a second
Nope, I
trailer
have
for.
not seen the first one. Will not see the second one.
You know
Not
what?
my thing.
You know what?
Uh,
Surprisingly, yeah, the first one I watched it and I was like, okay, it was okay, but it didn't blow me away. The trailer looks pretty good for the second one, so I was kind of like, okay, And Elijah, you're not as big into animation, so I don't know if it would
it's
tickle
not that
you
I'm
at
in
all.
a.
Probably not.
I like animation. It's just,
Yeah,
I'm an adult now. I am
yeah,
45. I
yeah.
have no kids,
Fair enough.
and
It's Disney.
there's no interest to go see that. It's like, why would
Sure.
I'm not going to go see that. I'm not going
Yeah.
to. Not
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
at home do I feel like watching it. If I
Yeah.
had kids,
Fair
it'd be
enough.
a completely different story.
Fair
But
enough.
I've
Fair enough.
I'm
so
with you.
missed out on so
Yeah.
many Disney and so many Pixar movies
Fair enough.
way behind. 'Cause there's
Pixar have
so
been
much
doing some
there.
nice stuff though, but
I know,
well,
but I'm
but
saying
not
that like
recently. Yeah.
I haven't
Fair.
seen
Yeah.
a great majority of it in many years.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Looks like Blade Runner 2099 TV series starts shooting in June in Prague, Spain. It
I
looks
keep
like
forgetting
Michelle
about
Yeoh is going to
that.
be the lead role, yeah, which will be interesting. I'm curious to see what they do with that, especially since it's not shot in America. It's shot in Prague. It's shot in Spain, so it should be an interesting element to the design and the architecture, I'm hoping to see. And I feel like if they're going to shoot it there, they're not going to be based around America as the Blade Runner is from the
It might be a different kind of metropolis. It
Ridley
might be a
Scott
more
stuff.
European style metropolis in
Maybe,
the
yeah,
future.
yeah, maybe. But I just thought, something they announced this week, of course, and
That's
then
cool.
Dungeons and Dragons is officially not moving forward at Paramount Plus. I
Paramount
was
Plus
kind
is
of,
falling apart. That's
it,
kind of
it,
the whole
it really
story
is,
this week.
it really is. Yeah, I was kind of a little hyped to see what a Dungeons and Dragons TV series would be like, and in this day and age, with the right writers and the right content, it could be really fun. But yeah, that's not happening right now. It doesn't mean it won't happen. but whatever. They also showed some scenes and dropped a poster for Arcane dropping in November, season 2. Which the scenes they showed like a 3-minute piece with all these, different things coming out on Netflix, and Arcane season 2 had some images in there, which looks cool. I enjoyed the first season. What else we got? Masters of the Universe has now got their He-Man. This is the actor.
Is he playing He-Man or?
I'm going to assume he's both Adam and He-Man. I don't know if
No, he can't be Adam and He-Man. I mean,
well, maybe. Who knows?
Look at him. He's Adam.
I know. Unless he bulks up. I have no idea. I just, it's been on again, off again for years for a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe live action film.
They should have just got Terry Crews to be He-Man. That
Supposed
would
to
have
be for
been
a movie.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah, live action film. And the last time they did that, of course, was the Dolph Lundgren one back in 1986, I think it was. Yeah, but either way.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like He-Man won't work in this day and age of audience for kids. Kids are definitely
No, it's
in
too
sci-fi
obscure and
fantasy.
too You might as well make a friggin' Hound Puppy movie or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Stop
talking
going
about
off toys.
edge
Stop
with that.
making up toys like Care Bear. Make a Care Bear live action movie.
yeah.
They need new ideas.
Sorry.
Yeah,
actually,
I mean, He-Man was definitely on the cusp when I was a kid. We definitely knew about it, but the show was definitely a little dated.
Yeah,
and
it was definitely my
weren't being
generation.
sold.
Yeah.
So I think even 20 years past that, I think
Yeah.
kids are going to have a hard time really
Yeah.
getting into something hasn't been in front of them for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, there has been that animated show, but it hasn't really been targeted.
It hasn't lifted to what they wanted with the toy line. It's always about the toy line, and it's But I mean, in the arc of movies and stuff coming out, Furiosa didn't do too well at the box office, and neither did the Garfield movie. They both more or less did not great.
Garfield was destined to fail. Who's that? I don't know who that movie's
Sure.
for. Are young kids even still into Garfield?
That's it.
The most I saw was people
Again,
bringing
that's
their
again.
cats
They're
to the
using
movie
old
as a
property
joke.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's outdated.
property
It
that-
feels. It's
Yeah.
like.
Well, meanwhile, Bad Boys is cleaning up. Actually,
And that's what I was going to say. Sorry.
Yeah, Bad Boys is doing well from what I hear. I hear theater employees are losing their minds. They thought it was going to be no one was going to see it, but it's been packed and crazy and messy and dirty in the theaters.
Here's the thing. I've never seen a Bad Boys film in my life, yet the trailer for number 4 I saw on the big screen a few weeks ago at the beginning of Furiosa, and I was like, this actually looks kind of fun. I mean, it looked like
Watch
a
the
fun
first
trailer.
two. The first two are really good.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's about the marketing of their trailer, and if they're not going to make it feel fun and vibey and all that, then we're going to end up with a trailer that doesn't want to appeal to an audience, and this one seemed to appeal to an audience. So it's good that it's doing well. I mean that's some of that stuff. Other news, guys, just quick jump through it here. Terry Gilliam looks like he's going to be doing a new film, The Carnival at the End of Days, with Johnny Depp, who's going to play Satan. Jeff Bridges is playing
Wait a minute,
God.
it's announced. He hasn't made it yet.
Well, no, he's announced it.
Yeah, this is Terry Gilliam, so you know.
This is
All
Terry-
right,
yeah,
all right. Well,
yes,
this could
yeah,
be 10 years until we see the movie.
It could be 10 years. It could be longer if he lives that long. He's pretty old now. And
Well,
Adam
just
Driver.
Terry Gilliam doesn't have the best luck with.
No, but when he does make a film, though, especially if he's got Adam Driver and Johnny Depp and Jason Momoa.
Yeah, but it's never been the cast that's been the problem. It's always been studios and finance.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
getting in the way.
Yeah. But I'm down for another Terry Gilliam film. He still manages to make a film once every 4 years, it seems.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
4 or 5 years, and so hopefully that goes ahead. I'd like to see what he does on that. Stuff that's coming out this week. Boys season 4 coming out this week as well, which is I think
There's a great billboard on Melrose with just Homelander's face with the eyes just glowing bright red.
Oh, nice.
And it glows all day and night, but once you drive by at night, you're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So it lights up?
Yeah, the eyes are permanently
Oh, really?
lit up bright red.
Oh, nice. That's cool. That's cool. Knives Out 3 is adding more to the cast. It looks like Jeremy Renner is going to be in Knives Out 3, which is going to be interesting. Ryan Johnson's third trilogy. I mean, they also, who is it? He announced...
It's a big cast. I can't even remember at this point.
Yeah, he's got so many... Yeah,
Josh
yeah,
Brolin.
James. Yeah, yeah. I
Brolin.
think Brolin. Yeah, Josh Brolin. I think was in
Josh
it.
Brolin, yeah.
Yeah, and then what's the name who played Nova from Nova Corps?
Glenn Close?
Glenn
No.
Close. Yeah, I saw she
Oh, it
was
is Glenn
also
Close.
there.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, that's it. Yeah. So other things that happened yesterday: two films of our childhood films turned 40 years old. Ghostbusters and Gremlins both turned 40. How crazy is that?
They were released on the same day?
Yeah.
Yeah, both were released on the same day. I
Yeah.
completely didn't realize that because I grew up in Australia, so the films were released at different times, usually
Yeah.
like a couple of months difference in the American release dates. But yeah, exactly, yeah. Uh, but yeah, there's been all these little things that they've been dropping I've never seen before. Did you see the link I sent you earlier, Elijah? With
Yeah,
the
I've
I
seen
didn't
that
get to
before.
watch
oh,
I've
yeah,
it.
seen
okay,
that before.
I hadn't seen that before,
Yeah,
so it's like, all right.
that's on deep cut. That's been
Okay, all
that
right,
used to be on the really old Laserdisc.
okay, all right,
That was
okay,
on that segment was on. I remember seeing that
that's
a long
cool.
time ago, and I've seen it pop up every once in a while. But it was
Right,
like for one of those movie exhibitor like conventions. That's what they made that for.
right,
And there's like
gotcha,
two other
gotcha.
ones similar to that they've done for other that they did for other that it is just like that, but they record at the same
Right,
time that it's
right,
different for different groups or whatever. Like one for
okay,
Sony or one for whatever. So,
right. It was they were in Las Vegas at the time. I think they were promoting a special screening on that one or something. So,
right.
but which was cool. Yeah, and this would interest you, Elijah. You're into vinyl, but the soundtrack for the vinyl X-Men '97 gets released soon.
Yeah, they're doing that with a lot of soundtracks, cartoons, video
Hmm.
games, and they're
Yeah,
doing all these elaborate. I think for a lot of people like those, they know those people are buying them not to like listen to them because they're all
right.
colored vinyl. They're all like,
Yeah,
either picture disc or elaborate print cover and all that stuff. So, but it's cool.
right.
It's
Yeah,
cool that the soundtracks are popular for
yeah. For
purchasing.
Vinyl.
They're going
Yeah, I
far out of
mean,
their way to like for the art and the design of the
yeah.
record.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, the soundtrack itself was actually pretty spectacular too for that series.
It
So.
was very good.
Hey there,
Very
Sub.
good.
You wish it was released on tape cassette? That's funny. I wish they. I mean, I'd like to get a copy on
I would
CD,
look.
but
They're doing cassette for a lot of things, so
yeah,
I would say that's not out of the realm of possibility. Do you know what
yeah.
company is making that?
Actually, I'm not too sure.
Look that up. Look it up online.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
bet that you could find it on cassette, especially that
Right.
it's a '97 type of like retro thing, or a different version of it on cassette. I'm googling it right now, Brent.
Yeah, yeah. Um, 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 um.
Cassette sales are up. The
Cassettes.
kids
Yeah,
are buying cassettes again.
that's
I'm
funny.
not gonna buy
Yeah,
mini
it's
discs
kind of.
again, but
Anyway, I'm sure. I mean, yeah.
When
Maybe
I was in high
it'll
school,
probably end
cassettes
up.
were crazy for me and my friends because my friend's car only had a cassette player and he was the one that was always driving. So anytime
Right.
we would find like a Metallica cassette or an Anthrax cassette, we'd be like the best day ever.
exactly. It's like you make your mix, you go out of your way to make your mix, and you'd have all
Hmm.
your different genres on your cassettes and put them in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Fair enough. Either way, I mean,
The
I
old
thought it was just a visually nice piece. I mean, I've seen them do a
yes.
lot of soundtracks and stuff, which is definitely my thing. But maybe one day I will get a record player and actually pick
One
up some of
day,
these.
geez, I've been bugging you. Goodbye, Dan.
I know, I know. Well,
They're
There.
getting more expensive by the year.
You'll enjoy
well,
it.
I'd like,
It's
to, yeah,
nice. You like
I
playing the
keep,
music?
well, I keep walking to Target, and sometimes I'll see the Mandalorian still on the shelf for the season 1, which is, uh,
Pick it up.
what's his name,
Pick it up.
Goranson.
Just buy the
Yeah,
records and
maybe.
eventually get a record player.
Yeah, but then there's another thing I have to spend my money on. It's like, I'm already spending too much money on stuff right now. But either way, jumping onto
You list
Superman. Did you
hot
see this,
toys,
guys?
For a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Buy different vinyl. You can buy vinyl toys, or you can buy vinyl records.
I get the toys in. I made the displays. I had fun with that. Did you see this? This is the slate for the Superman
cool.
film slate, which is actually really pretty cool. Yeah,
Cool
James got
slate.
posted that. Yeah, and then James Gunn posted a little time ago. He posted the location of the house for
The Kent Farm.
the Kent farm.
It does really look like what would be a Kent Farm. Like it's like the
But
idyllic version of it.
from the '80s, that's the thing, though, right? It's got that kind of
No,
'80s.
they've always kind of
Yeah,
had
the
the farm in
timeline.
Kansas.
Yeah,
Well,
but
he
sorry,
wouldn't
you were
even be.
saying
This
that,
wouldn't even
yeah.
be in the '80s. Like if Superman is what, like 28 in this movie, he's gonna
Yeah.
be like in the late '90s or something like that. It's gonna be like 90.
That's so weird to think
Right,
about.
but the farm could definitely come from the '80s. But it feels like it's an '80s type house, right?
I know. But if they
Yeah.
flash back to when he's, I
Oh,
I
right.
get that.
It would be
I'm
in the
just saying if
'90s.
they flash
Okay.
back to when he's
Yeah.
a kid, it's going to
Yeah.
be in the '90s, not in the
Sure.
'80s. Because
Yeah.
if he was in the '80s, we'd have like a
Yeah.
38-year-old
That
Superman.
means Superman's going to be born after the Death of Superman comic.
Maybe.
That's weird to think about.
That is
Yeah,
funny.
right. I mean, I'm thinking about that too, like timeline for this, and I mean, it's already rich with characters, and apparently Superman is just, I don't know how it's out, but it's going to be interesting to see that.
Right. They announced a few more
the
cast.
backstory.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They've announced a few more cast members as well. Beck Bennett.
Ed Bennett as Steve
like
Lombard is so
Lombard.
good.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with his character specifically.
He's kind of like the jerky. I think he's usually a sports writer in most continuities.
All right.
And I can't remember. I think it's the Grant Morrison run where it's revealed he wears a toupee, which is a really funny moment. Superman flies by him super fast and his wig flies off.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He's just kind of comedic relief, but I think he's best when he's like a jerky guy with kind of a heart of gold. Like he's kind of a jerk on the surface, but once you get to know him, you realize he's just kind of like a good guy in his own world.
Right. And then we've got Michaela Hoover as Cat Grant. She's appeared in a lot of James's stuff in the past. I've actually worked with her before on one of his short films, which she's cool. So she would.
I never thought of the brunette Cat Grant. I always feel like the blonde is so important to the Cat Grantness.
Well, they could put on a wig or they could dye her hair.
For sure.
Yeah.
Very.
That just threw me off so hard when I saw a picture of her and I was like, oh, not what I expected Cat Grant to look like.
But she's at that age now where she looks like she could almost kind of keep going, coming on to Clark Kent all the time, which would be kind of fun. I'm sure they'll do minimal of that stuff, but who knows? We'll see.
I think Cat Grant's going to be the senior
women throwing
writer.
themselves.
Minimal. I think they're just filling the background. I mean, I don't know how much of the
It seems
Daily
like
Planet
they were just announcing the full roster of the Daily Planet, which is great. We have a full roster in there.
Yeah, and Christopher McDonald is supposed to be Ron Toop.
That's not Christopher McDonald.
That's it? Are you sure about that?
Yes,
Really?
Christopher
I am very sure. I've met him before,
Really?
actually. That's definitely not him.
See, the funny thing is, there's two Christopher McDonalds out there. The one you got in your head is not the right one that's being picked for the cast.
Oh, really? Are there
Really? Yeah. In fact, I can't find the image. I pulled it up there, and it's not there. Hang on a second.
Wait a minute, different Christopher McDonald?
There's a different Christopher McDonald.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, I don't know.
Because when I saw online, it showed Christopher McDonald, like Shooter McGavin, Christopher McDonald.
Yes, well,
Did
the character.
Because that's when I looked at
this guy is also Christopher McDonald.
I'm also Christopher McDonald. You're like, oh,
yeah,
man.
exactly. Hang on a second. I thought I had an image there that I cannot find. 1 second. I got to find it because here he goes. Okay, and this is James Gunn with Christopher McDonald having officially been cast as Cat Grant and Ron Troop.
Yeah, he does look like Ron Troop. He was a black reporter for the Daily Planet, so it would make sense he would be him and not an older white guy. But
yes, see, I got the news right. I did my research.
You definitely did.
Because Jason was going off when we were talking on Twitter the other day. It's like, hey, you don't know who this is? It's like, yeah, no, I did my research.
Well, very understandable because when it first got posted and we were all texting about it, like when I looked up online,
that's why I was so confused. It's like I don't know who this person is you're talking about because it's not this person in the image.
It's so funny.
Well, go figure, huh?
Because they got it wrong.
the fact that there's 2 Christopher McDonalds out there, and that's why it's like. And the other one that you talked about came up first. Yeah, but this I was going to say because
he's the much more recognizable one who's been like Happy Gilmore, SLC Punk. He's been.
See, I don't know who that is.
He's a great actor. He's a great character actor, and like.
Yeah.
God.
But it is not him. This is officially him. Yeah. Oh, snap. Yes.
I wonder if the Daily Planet they're casting. I wonder if they're going to just be background characters, if they're going to be a larger story from the Daily Planet.
I don't know. I mean,
Lois stuff.
That's the thing. It's like how big of the world do they want to go? I mean, there's going to be a lot.
I think James Gunn's going full tilt. This is what I like about what he's doing is that he's not shying away from the characters in the book. He's not, even though Zack Snyder did some great stuff. I love Zack Snyder stuff. You didn't really get that much with the Daily Planet roster. You had stuff with Perry White, but you didn't really have a Jimmy Olsen or a Cat Grant or a Steve Lombard.
Yeah. And again, because I don't know who some of those characters are, they're going to help fill that background, and they're obviously going to get a couple of lines here and there. And I'm going to assume that it will, it'll make it feel real and lived in. I think that's the important thing, and I think that's what James Gunn is going for. He's not trying to create things from scratch where characters come up and go, "Hi, I just got here and started working." It's like I feel like we're going to have this continual background of,
which is great. And that's one of the
lived in world.
That's one of the things I was talking about that I wish they would do in movies, and I think we talked about it like on a live stream a long time ago. Is that I wish they would just start a movie with just boom, there's all these characters, and we'll just catch up to who these people are. Like, we don't need an explanation of like what
we've had 10 of them before in 10 other movies. Yeah, exactly.
If they're going to be in other movies and they keep these characters around, just play it like it's every character. Every character has some value, because that's what it's like when you read a book, anyways.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I think what he's doing
everyone that's thrown in there is thrown in there for a reason, whether if it's some crowd, a crowd scene.
Yeah, I mean, I like that he's doing the opposite of what he did with Guardians, where when we got a hold of Guardians, he really remade the cast and the characters to make them their own and make them stand out. Yeah. And then this, he's just going, no, this is Superman. Everyone knows Superman. We're just going to start with the Superman story, and everyone's going to be in it. It's not going to be just like another hopefully not another Superman origin, because I think we've seen that too many times.
We don't need to.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Superman. You don't need to The Rock coming to Earth.
We know that Lois Lane's always going to get herself into trouble. Yeah, we always know that Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen are always going to get themselves into trouble at some point. We know that Cat Grant is always going to be kind of cracking onto Clark Kent. We know that stuff, but to actually see it just right in the middle of it all is going to be fun. And so I'm kind of, I'm definitely down for that kind of thing. That's all the outside news outside of Star Wars that I could see that dropped in the last week. Anything updates you can think of? Anything that was interesting you've read recently?
You guys talked about. I mean, I wasn't here for the last 2 weeks, so I don't know. I know you guys talked about Beetlejuice.
Hey, my boy.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Some of those other ones.
Oh yeah, Beetlejuice. Yeah. We talked about Beetlejuice trailer and all that. Which I'm excited. I'm looking.
I'm excited to see what I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be fun.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Let's jump on to Star Wars news, guys. Sad news to begin with. Maria del Aragon, who played Greedo in Star Wars: A New Hope, passed away this past week. At what was she? She was getting up there, but everybody gets old, I guess. But she usually goes to the conventions and stuff like that, apparently, and all that. So. That was a bit sad news. On the plus side of things, Brent D. Baker, who voices like pretty much the entire Bad Batch and most of the clones, or all the clones, is reported that he's an Emmys contender at the awards ceremony for his character role of Crosshair in the Bad Batch, which is kind of cool. And well deserved, because honestly, the amount of voices this man has put on over the years is insane. He was a voice of Eagly from
he was.
He voiced Eagly from Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, the series, which was kind of funny.
Also, Lenore Zan was nominated for an Emmy for her work as Rogue in X-Men.
Oh, she was? Oh, cool. That's cool.
I believe Variety said she's the front runner too.
Really? Interesting. Yeah, because it's like, I still would say Bradley D. Baker. I mean, she does more or less the one character. She's done other voices, of course, but
I don't think really much. I think she's mostly.
Yeah. But Bradley D. Baker is phenomenally mind-blowing. Like, I've seen this guy live on stage talking and switching character from one to the other, and it's like you just wow.
Wait, does
It's
he do
insane.
other cartoon voices or just Star Wars stuff? This guy does other
He
voices.
does a
He does
lot. He does video games, he does
yeah,
TV. Yeah,
basically
he's all
yeah,
over the place.
yeah.
Is he
He's
famous
up.
like other cartoon characters he's famous for?
Yeah,
Hang on,
Futurama, isn't he in Futurama too?
hang on a
Bender?
second.
Like, is he not one of
No, no,
not one
that's
of those
John
guys?
DiMaggio.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but like I'm just giving me a character so that like it would help me know that who he is.
Okay,
Other than,
let me
like,
see.
the
Hang on, wait,
character.
I'm pulling up his IMDb page because it's crazy.
Yeah, he's
Um,
done a obscene amount of voices.
yeah, yeah. Uh, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, Tales of the Empire. He's voiced
Go to
stuff. Bad
well, I'll
Batch,
put it up.
obviously. All the Star Wars stuff. Um, let's see. SpongeBob SquarePants. He's done secondary voices for Young Jedi Adventures. He voices.
He's been doing literally everything. He's one of those guys
American
who's been
Dad.
around.
He's done stuff for The Croods.
He was in
What
Justice
else?
League, Avatar. He voiced Appa.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yes.
If you ever
He
watched
did.
American
He did
Dad, he was
Haley
Klaus.
Bay. He actually did the voice of Haley Bay in yeah, Avatar: Last Airbender. Futurama, Rusty the Donkey, I guess.
In
Gremlins.
Futurama, he's Rusty
Yeah,
the Donkey.
yeah. Gremlins: Secret of the Mogwai. He played the voice of the evil Mogwai, which yeah was like yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He was Burp. Family Guy. He played Gonzo, Miss Twiggly Tinks. Anyway, he's done a ton.
Okay,
Like
okay,
yeah,
okay.
this guy is
He's one of the
phenomenal.
top
Yeah.
working voice actors.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like he's up there. He's even higher up than Mark Hamill with the amount of stuff that he's done. He is phenomenal. Anyway, he's up for a nomination there.
He also did Daffy Duck and Space Jam. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay, all right. Okay, fair enough.
Space
Fair
Jam.
enough. Fair enough. So before we kind of jump into Acolyte news, but the director or showrunner Leslie Headland says that she's always wanted to explore a live-action Knights of the Old Republic series or movie, which would be interesting. And I feel like after she's done with this, they could offer her pretty much anything because
I
so
don't think
far,
Disney will ever do it. I think they're
is
so
that?
terrified of the KOTOR
Of the
era. I think
legend.
they're just.
Oh, really? The
I don't even
legend
think
stuff.
I don't even think they're ever going to touch the Nile in live action. I think that scares them too. I think anything a little too far outside the realm of the movies, they're going to be too
No,
scared about.
I think there's room to be explored, and I feel like
Yeah,
that this stuff
they're-
they're bringing in more of the legend stuff now. It seems
when they run out
And
of Star, they're gonna just keep digging into the Star Wars pocket, and they'll make new
They'll-
things up. Like they'll keep.
they
going.
will take what is popular
Whatever they can
and
make
put
money
a
from.
new they'll
Yeah.
take what has been popular in the legends or in the uh, 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 you know in all that stuff there the uncanon stuff now and do a twist with it the same way they did with Thrawn, the same way they did with all these other characters and bring them into the fold in some form or way. And they will take definitely what is popular. It feels like that is a popular base that they could actually take that from and
There
do
was two
something
video
with it.
games that were immensely popular. The Knights of the Old Republic game,
Right.
which I believe started that era.
What era was that again? That was prior
It's, I believe it's in between the High Republic and the current age.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's pretty
the-
recent.
the-
Okay,
Yeah.
within the last 100 years from High Republic to Phantom
I
Menace.
could be
Okay.
way off about that. I don't think it's
Uh,
before
okay.
the High Republic because
Okay.
there's.
I'm sure
Sith
someone
around.
out there will post it and note it. In
Yeah,
the
yeah. I haven't
comments.
played the game in a while. I cannot remember what
Yeah.
year it took place in. But
Yeah, I'm terrible when it comes to games, folks. So sorry about that. That's my one weakness.
that
with
one you
and
could
the-
probably play. Actually, it's very simple.
Yeah.
It is.
But just
extremely
the
simple.
knowledge of what time periods and
Yeah.
stuff like that I was going for. Because right now, Acolyte is sitting at the third spot behind Andor and Visions as being
makes
the
sense.
top Star Wars material. Which
Whoa,
is
above Mandalorian. Actually, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of people are interested, and I very much enjoyed what season one had to say, or episode one had to say, I should say. So, what were your thoughts, Max? What were your thoughts on episodes one
I
and two?
liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would. And this is brief spoilers, but I was really looking forward to seeing Carrie Ann Moss in a Star Wars project. So that was my only little thing that I was like, oh man. But besides that, I really liked the characters. I did think it was a bit predictable. Everything with OSHA, I was a little kind of just like
Right.
bummed as it was happening.
Yeah, the sisters. Yeah, I got the chance to see this both episodes at a fan screening on the big screen. I was invited along by a friend, so I actually got to see this the night before it aired. So my reaction is less of a reaction and more of a re-observation. But I was told right there before before it started, it was just like someone said, "Oh yeah, they're sisters," and it was like, "Oh wait." There's two of them in the poster, and you see both of them. You've got the two. You've got the O. Yeah, you got the O, which is like the light and the dark half of the O. And I think like months ago I called out, "Oh, there's a light and a dark half there in the O," referring to the rings. At the time, I was like, because we were joking about the Lord of the Rings kind of thing. It was like, oh wait a minute, we were talking about the sisters, the sister arc. So. Okay, all right, Jason. Hey, Jason. Sorry you can't join us today. Do we think Indara is dead? Indara is the Jedi that Carrie-Anne Moss plays at the beginning, and I have a theory about that. But we will be getting some flashbacks because there was some footage shown with flashbacks, so we are going to see them in a younger iteration of themselves.
I think that's we're going to get more Carrie-Anne Moss. Mm-hmm. I think it's a little bit of a shame. I really thought that she was going to be one of the central characters of the show when it was announced. I think she's a fantastic actress. I love her as Trinity.
Oh no, she was, and her fight skills were incredible. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was one of my favorite live action TV Star Wars fights.
That, and I mean also the one with Soul as well when he's fighting in the second.
That was also a good one. There was
very similar techniques, but
I do like the cleverness behind the use of the Force in the show. Where they
I agree. I like that.
Hey there, Joes. How's it going?
I like how they were using to lift rocks. They were actually using the Force in fights. There was force fields. There was people getting lifted up as they were falling. They were using the Force cleverly. But I thought what was the most interesting was that in that first fight with Indara, how she kind of tricked her by making her use the Force elsewhere so she can get her. And I thought that was
tricked her, or did she actually end up by also realizing she'd have to sacrifice herself because she knew that there was no way of, was it?
No, I think she just, it was the typical. She distracted her, got her attention elsewhere, so she'd save a life doing the Jedi way, and then that was her moment to strike.
But just look at that moment before she goes to throw the knife, and you see her. Look up, and you do see Indara just look up and go, kind of like almost a sigh, as in, you are about to attack that person, and that's where my defenses are weaker, and I'm going to let you take that attack so I can actually sacrifice myself. I feel like there was a sacrifice.
I don't think it was intentionally like she knew she was going to die, but I think it was definitely a sacrificial moment. It was rather save the innocent than
yes, exactly. Yeah. I agree. Any thoughts on that, Elijah?
I agree with both of you guys. I only watched it once, but that was one of the better Jedi fights. It was blocking, and she wasn't like, it was like no lightsaber. It was nice. It was nice to not have that without having a lightsaber fight. It was very very Jedi-ish type of blocks and maneuvering. Very chill and stoic. It was like
and it goes back to the idea that the lightsabers, at least in this time period, were used, and as May said, you only pull up your lightsaber to actually, if you're going to use it, kind of thing. So it's interesting because by the prequels, the Jedi pull out their lightsabers for a lot more attacking and defending and sorry.
It's like, that
scene made me hate. Yeah. No, that scene made me hate that the Yoda Dooku fight or whatever. Like, I hated that so much because Yoda should be so strong he doesn't even need a lightsaber. So I thought it was ridiculous that Yoda had a lightsaber.
Which we did see. Sorry. Yeah.
They just had the budget.
I'm just saying that it put that one to shame. It put that to shame. I mean, I could see this Carrie-Anne Moss character being a way more powerful Jedi than Yoda because it's too ridiculous.
Really? Okay.
No, I know what you mean. I mean that fight they just didn't have the the money and the CGI to be able to do all that really slick stuff with the Force. So it was mostly like Yoda lifting something heavy very slowly and then throwing it
Yeah,
at Dooku
that
kind
was
of
it was,
slowly.
but it
I,
was it was
I, I
it
thought
was
no, I think
yeah.
Elijah's right. I mean that fight would be
Really?
so much more interesting if they both put their
Right.
lightsabers aside, at least
Right.
momentarily. Because I mean, they're both kind of very different forces. Dooku's one of the best
Well,
lightsaber attack masters, but
yeah.
his former master Yoda is one of the strongest Force users, supposedly.
Right, but the thing is that Yoda did
Especially in a
actually
movie with
absorb.
so many
But he,
lightsabers and so many things going on. We don't need Yoda spinning around, coming out and doing. We
he
don't need
was
all that.
trying to. I mean, he was obviously trying to get Dooku off balance, but Yoda did
Doesn't even make
absorb
sense,
the
though.
light.
Yoda should know
But
Dooku is way better duelist than he is. I mean,
Exactly.
that's one thing Dooku was known for was his dueling
yeah,
ability.
and that's why Yoda actually absorbed the Force lightning.
It
He
just
actually
means it can be
absorbed it
done.
and then
You
reflected
can
it
be a Jedi
back.
without a lightsaber, and
Sure, yeah, and we do get to see that in Kenobi because when Vader,
for those
wait,
movies,
wait,
they suck.
no, but in Kenobi when Vader used it against Reva, he didn't pull up his lightsaber once when fighting Reva in the final battle,
That
except
was just disrespect.
I don't remember. I don't
Yeah,
remember that so much.
but-
But this fight
What?
stood out to me.
sure,
As
it definitely stood up. It was a
Jedi,
great.
That's probably how a Jedi should be in
Yeah.
combat.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely a very interesting combat, and the fact that the opponents don't have lightsabers, the fact that May was supposed to be fighting, she has to make a kill out of one of the four to that is not by using, by not
Throwing
using a
knives.
weapon or not by using a weapon at all, and I guess that when. Well, actually, I won't go into spoilers because I know, Elijah, you haven't seen the second episode, but she does use a technique that doesn't use a weapon, but uses
I don't think
something
that counts.
else.
I'm going to straight out say that doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I feel like I don't know what you see at the end of the first episode, and you do see the Sith. I'm going to say the Sith apprentice.
Oh, he's a Sith because he had to show his lightsaber
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. So Elijah, just so you know, the Acolyte is not a Sith, obviously. May, which is May. She's an Acolyte, which is basically when an apprentice wants to go up against his master, he will pull in a new Acolyte to train them to be his apprentice, so they can
Always be two.
so they can defeat the master, the Sith Lord.
Oh, their apprentice will bring in another apprentice.
Exactly,
And like,
yeah.
on my master.
Yeah.
And then when I kill him, then you can be the next in command.
Apprentice, exactly, yeah, and that's how it works with the Sith. To a certain degree, it works with the Sith, and we saw that in the Clone Wars because Ventress was brought in by Count Dooku, and he tried to build her up to be strong enough to go up against Palpatine, and in the end, Dooku had failed and was told by Palpatine, get rid of her, kill her, basically. And that didn't quite happen and go the way it went. And of course, that's where, by the time we got to the Revenge of the Sith, Dooku was killed off by Anakin because Palpatine was able to take in his new apprentice and said, "This old apprentice is gone. Dooku's gone, and I'm taking on the new one."
I just imagine Palpatine still being like, "Do you see how old he is? He's accomplished nothing."
Oh, Chris, no. Don't never agree with Star Wars theory. Please don't say that. I think the unrealistic stuff. I mean, I get what people are saying about lightsabers. Going through. So far, we've got lightsabers have gone through two characters. And they've survived. And we saw that with Reva, and we saw twice with Reva, and we saw that with why have I got a mental block? Oh, with Anyway, basically where they're going was that lightsabers, going through the chest should do some massive heat damage. It's like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
I mean,
it doesn't
that
serve.
mean it's a fan film. That's a deliberate decision to wound a character for the future series.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people when they think about fan films, this is not anywhere close.
Well, he's not. But he's not talking about
some actual bullshit plots,
Right.
not made by
but
writers. This is something different.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, what he's referring to is that when in Kenobi where Vader did strike Reva, that should have killed her as a child and it should have killed her as an adult. I get that meaning. Was, Qui-Gon Jinn got stabbed with a lightsaber and dies. I just feel like it's just like the positioning of where they
Yeah, but
stab
Maul
him.
got his
It
legs
also
chopped off.
it also depends on whether you're actually trying to prove a point. Maybe Vader just decided he didn't want to kill Reva as a child because he saw potential, so he stabbed her in a place that was non-damaging. And he did that because there's still the program of making Inquisitors from these kids and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, Jason agrees that he thinks that yes, Jason, yes, yeah, we need to have a conversation about that. It doesn't feel like a fan film. I'm enjoying what Acolyte is doing. Anyway, they had no time. No, I think that was the shock value is that they bring her in, but then
It
we're going to get her
definitely
in
shocked me.
flashbacks. Okay,
I like Carrie Ann Moss.
All right.
She was like,
yeah. Oh no,
she was great.
she was great for the short time we saw her. Let's go back to this guy just for a
She'll be
second.
back.
We're jumping to the end of episode 1. This guy here, I definitely believe is the apprentice, which means that somewhere out there is a Sith Lord. I don't know which Sith Lords exist in the galaxy at this point in time, because I know we get Darth Revan, we've got all these other Darths that are supposedly out there. I feel like if they're going to go with something unexplored, that I feel like it might be somebody else we've already seen. I feel like, at the really heart of my soul, I feel like that Carrie Ann Moss actually is the Dark Lord and has been there for a while and kept herself within the system.
that would be cool. Yeah, Darth Plagueis,
Yeah.
as Jason kind of said, is.
Yeah.
I believe he's the one that's around right now.
He
I could
probably
be wrong
is.
about my years, but I'm
probably is.
pretty sure he's the one that's
Yeah.
just canonically alive.
But at the same time, it's like we'll see how they decide the story may play out, because there is this, there's this vibe about her playing that character for me that's like, okay, she somehow could have very well faked her death. The illusion of someone dying is not the actual element that this character is dead. So maybe we'll get a shock value that she is. Maybe we won't. That's my hunch. That's my theory, is that she will come in at
Didn't
the
we see
very
more
end
of her
and just
character
be there.
in- Didn't we see more of her in in the trailers and the previews of
Yeah,
Carrie Ann
we're
Moss?
seeing-
Yeah, but that's never
see the-
actually definitive.
Yeah, we're seeing there's these younger versions of each of the characters. I think there's a little
There's
bit
got to
of
be more to that
enhancement.
character. 'Cause I only watched it once, but it was
Right.
that segment. And didn't she like wake up? I mean, it was like a memory. Did she wake up out of a dream or something after that segment?
Oh, that was
That opening she dies, and then that wasn't. Was that like a flashback to a prior?
No,
or
that
that's
was-
not-
No, oh, okay. No. You'll find out in episode 2 specifics.
Oh, was that in
but-
episode 2?
Yeah, episode 2 is when when you're talking about Maeve, or you're talking about
I can't remember now.
I'm
watched
just talking
the
that. I
movie,
just watched the episode one time. I just
Yeah.
watched it, but that first fight scene when she gets the dart
Correct.
and she dies.
yes.
Wasn't that like a flashback? Like just after that, like I can't remember. I'm forgetting these characters, but
So,
was it like
her name
was
is
thinking about that moment, or
Osha.
had a dream
Yeah,
about that moment?
Osha is her sister.
Right.
She wakes up. It wasn't a dream, and
You'll
again,
find out. Just keep
You'll
watching.
you'll
Not a
find
dream,
out. But
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just
but
saying I didn't know
It
when
wasn't
that
a
happened.
flashback.
But they
Happened
came in.
currently.
Yeah, but it wasn't a flashback. They actually did come in because they did arrest her for the murder of the Jedi Master. and
because
that
they're
was-
the two sisters, bad one and one's a good one, and they're like
Exactly. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
twins.
Hey, Joseph. Interesting prediction. I don't think so.
Twins.
Okay, fair enough. No, that's fair enough. I think you're right that it is a woman. Yeah, I kind of felt like the voice of the I felt like the voice of the apprentice. I'm going to call that one the apprentice at the end of the first episode. Felt like it was a woman in pronunciation, but now I have a completely different theory after rewatching the episode. May I share the prediction?
I heard some
who will
people
shop
think
around?
it's what's his name, Yord.
Yord? No.
I've heard some people say they think it's Yord. I don't know if I agree with that, but
No.
I've heard people say that.
I definitely not Yord. Yord has Wait. Where's the? There we go. So Yord, this guy here, has become the biggest freaking growth Star Wars meme in the last week that you could ever possibly
I
imagine.
think it's because he's
been
so
memed on every-
generic. He's
so
such a generic character.
but
Out of all the Jedi in the show, he's the generic one.
he's by the books nerd almost, and I think that's what people really like about the character. I think he's a fun freaking character, and he is the comedy
Your
relief.
story.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Harry Potter, though, where he's just like so straight until
that's
the
it.
plot needs to be
Yeah.
otherwise.
But he plays it so well that it comes across as that, and you'll see it more in the second episode, Elijah. But there is a little bit more humor from that character that comes along. That that it's just enough humor in the Star Wars universe to be entertained and make it fun. And that's what Star Wars has to be. It should be just fun. And we didn't get that from Andor. We didn't get the fun.
I thought Andor was pretty fun. I think I was the only one that thought Andor had some fun in it. It's a darker adventure than most other Star Wars stories.
Yeah, it was too dark. Anyway,
I don't think you can get too dark. I mean, unless they're really killing even more babies than they had in the prequel movies. But I didn't think Andor was as dark as people made it out to be. I thought it was just more grounded.
Yeah, Yord's the guy you wouldn't even invite for a drink after work. Exactly, yeah, because he's just going to be too... Yeah, no. But he plays it... But that's what makes the character charming, and that's why that is the most meme character this week in Star Wars.
I just hate his name, though. I've said that before, but I think Yord is like... It's like you ask some idiot to come up with a Star Wars name.
Yord is...
no, I agree. That's definitely an overused hairstyle among... I mean, I feel like I feel like it's just become like the modern hairstyle, and I feel like it's been in so much stuff. It did kind of make him stand out as being even more generic.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was like, the other introduction. I just want to jump into a few other things here. Other things we saw that were going on. The Jedi Temple. All the production design is absolutely gorgeous. If you compare it to the old Jedi Temple from the prequels, everything's run down there, which is kind of cool. Here, it's like absolutely golden age, and you got this whole vibe of...
Well, it's a completely different shape. It's a different building altogether, it looks like.
No, it's the same building.
Oh, is it the same building? It's just
yeah.
In there?
Yeah, it's no exact same building. It just simply...
at the top of it. Okay.
Yeah. But everything, the skyline's very different. There's a lot more elegance to this skyline.
There's less... Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you check out, and we've got the insides there and stuff like that. Ship design is awesome.
Looked remarkably similar. Like they did not renovate the interiors.
No, this is a different interior. Just a lot of round rooms. This is just in one of the other spires. We always ever see the main Jedi Council is in the main spire in the center. This feels like it's in one of the other spires.
Have we seen that room yet in the show?
This room, something close to it.
The main council room.
This one here, you mean?
You
meant the Jedi Temple? No, we haven't seen the Jedi Temple, but I think we saw it in a trailer, in one of the scenes of the trailer. But I think this is actually very close to the same setting that we see in Kenobi when Obi-Wan and Anakin are having the flashback fights. Yeah,
it looks like almost the same set, just like a different part of it. I think there was supposed to be an exterior. I can't remember.
Semi, yeah. Again, these temples, they got form other spires, so they got different elements that they could be. But it's still cool that they use different, elements of that. The droids in this world, I actually have enjoyed. Pip, I think Pip's a great multi-use tool droid. Very cool design.
I would say the blue and the orange made it look like a Guardians of the Galaxy, like a
You're right.
Marvel thing to me.
Yeah,
because it's just so Marvel looking. It looks that even just those colors.
Yeah, it's a little flashier.
Yeah.
The droids usually are kind of less stick out. They're more kind of like blend in with like solid metal colors and desert colors.
Yeah.
Especially for an older period in Star Wars, like that seems a little, I don't know. I like it. I do like it, but I'm just saying the coloring made me think of like Guardians or Marvel.
No, that makes sense. But we also had this droid, the door droid, which is kind of cool, retro on the design. And, we got ourselves a gonk droid that made Jason very happy, of course.
The old school gonk.
The old school gonk, yeah. But the other ones I didn't put, the ones in the prison ship, you got the...
We didn't have to put the seat droids.
The seat droids. Oh, I didn't pull a picture of the seat droids. The chair droids were so cool.
That's the one everyone was talking about the most.
Yeah.
Would you sit on their lap and fly a ship?
I think it'd be very uncomfortable to fly. They've got this big round thing in the back of the head when it turns back to its side. It's like, what the heck is that? That would be so painful to sit on just to fly a ship. Especially if you're bumping through an atmosphere. It'd be like, it'd be an uncomfortable trip. But it was the droids, the chair droids were great as a concept, as a design for a prison ship. We see that though also in Mandalorian season 2, when Mando's been captured and he's on board the prison ship, the Republic prison ship. There's only one pilot on board. In this case, there was none, but everything was automated by droids, which I thought was kind of a cool similarity that we got from all that, which was kind of cool. I'm just jumping all over the place here. This is from the second episode. The fight sequence between Saul and Maeve was really cool. And again, I'm trying to avoid spoiling too much for Elijah because he hasn't seen episode 2. But there's a lot that goes on in episode 2 that's very interesting. I can't afford
we haven't
it.
mentioned him. We haven't mentioned it yet, but Manny Jacinto, who played, I can't remember his character's name, the shady dude who was in the store. He didn't own the store, but he was working out of the store. That guy, he was great in the show.
Quimmer. Quimmer. I can't. Qimir is how it's spelled. Again,
I don't know.
Elijah, I'm going to semi kind of go into this character just a little bit because he's worth talking about. There's some words that he says in there that talk about stuff about absolution. And he's talking to Maeve. He's in connection with Maeve, who's the one who's trying to kill the 4 Jedi. And the conversation comes up about absolution, and it sounds more and more like he might be our Sith.
No, he's definitely not the Sith Lord.
Not the Sith Lord. The Sith apprentice.
That's what I meant. He's definitely not Sith. I think he's too dumb. The character,
what? No, listen to what he says. If you rewatch it, the words that are said at the end of episode 1 by the Sith apprentice. We're going to say Sith apprentice. That's what we're going to go by for now. And between what he says as well, he's observing everything that Maeve is doing right there, right then. He knows when Maeve is trying to cut around the bush. She goes off to kill Torben and fails the first time, and then
I don't know. I think it would be not only too convenient. I think it would just. I think May would
It's not Ezra Miller. How many people actually? The thing is, so many people online did say it looks like Ezra Miller. It's like, no, he doesn't look like Ezra Miller. So
I don't think he does, but because I know from the show The Good Place.
It's got he got the Ezra Miller hair. Like if his hair was different,
he does.
That's it.
Ezra Miller,
exactly.
Connection.
And
he's not choking Icelandic people, so you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yet.
That was anyway. He's going to be around a bit in the future. I think the one thing that was weird about the end of episode 2 was that why did the Jedi not stick around to? They knew he was going to be meeting up with Maeve at a later point in time, and why were they?
Yeah, not a little bit of plot convenience there.
Yeah, and I feel like that was kind of a bit of a weak getaway for him and Maeve basically, because the Jedi knew exactly where she and he were going to be, and they weren't, they didn't stick around at that moment in time. And I was like, okay, Let's talk about other aliens in this show. We have got Yord's Padawan. Her name is Tassia Loa. Tassia Loa.
I forgot she even existed until you brought up a picture of her. She was
I know.
A memorable character of the show.
I was going to say, if there's a Jedi Padawan who's going to die first, I think it's going to be her. But if you have a look, she's also one of the Zagarians that we see as one of the prison. One of the trading slave traders from the Clone Wars. That's her race. She's on the right there. That we saw that type of character, which is kind of cool. We did see our old friends, the Nemoidians, which had a lot more fun animatronic stuff going on in their face than what we had before from the prequels.
Just
were the prequels just masks?
What's that? They did talk. There was basic movement.
It was like one lip.
Yeah, a little bit. From the Muppets Beaker. Yeah,
that's what the hat is hiding. The Beaker hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the coolest.
He's grown up.
Yeah, one of the coolest designs, and we see this in the next episode. Which wait, was he? Yeah, it was the second episode. Wait, was it the first or the second? Shoot. No, it was the first one, right? Yeah, it was the first
I
one.
like this
Damn,
guy.
I already mixed up. Yeah, you did. Yeah, it was the first episode. I love this guy. Like, he was obviously part cyborg.
He looks like compact
And
disc player man.
that's it. Yeah, I know.
It looks like a car
But
stereo
yeah,
man.
yeah, totally.
Like you put a DVD in his mouth there, and it plays like some music.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like that was a great design. I think a lot of the prison. I didn't really pull in any images of the prisoners because it was such a short moment. But it's such a lived-in world that we see these prisoners only for a few seconds. They get themselves recaptured again by the Jedi. At the same time, they just felt lived in within the world, and I think that's what I'm enjoying about this show a lot. Is that everything feels lived in. I'm enjoying the small streets and the production design. You've got these really great things like sets that are just like feels completely Star Wars. At the same time, a lot of the back
But they
streets
also
that you
feel
have
really.
them-
That's why I keep thinking this doesn't feel like a fan film, is because it looks so good. At least to me, I really
Yeah.
love the direction they're heading with this, especially the design of the show.
Oh,
Everything looks
absolutely.
like it's really well done
Yeah.
and well crafted. It doesn't feel like sets. It
These
feels
shows are
like
looking better,
lived in
like that
spaces.
Fallout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah,
They just
yeah.
they're looking good for TV shows. Like I don't know what they're doing, but they look amazing. Fallout was amazing. This looks amazing. I don't know where the shooting's where the money goes, but it's working.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Then one other quick thing as well. In this planet, where the ice planet, where mental block on the name.
OSHA.
OSHA. Thank you. Yes, I can pull out May straight away, but I keep forgetting to pull up OSHA in my head straight away. OSHA lands on a planet called Karlak, and the actual planet is where Bo-Katan meets Ahsoka Tano for the first time in the Clone Wars. So
I thought
first,
that name was familiar.
yeah, and so we've got that return of that particular planet as well. Overall, though, guys, what would you give episode 1 and 2, out of 10 for?
I give it definitely an 8.5.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's some stuff they could definitely work on. I thought it was a little bit predictable.
Right.
For me, it wasn't like a slow pace. I thought the pacing was fine.
Yeah.
I just have when I heard that they were just like, I gotta kill 4 Jedi, I'm like, that's not that much. I don't know. To me, it didn't seem that. Even though it's definitely hard to kill a Jedi, that number just didn't seem that impressive to me.
Well, I mean, again, but she's not a Jedi. She's not a Sith.
I know.
Well,
It should be impressive.
yeah,
but
it should be
like,
impressive
only
because
4 of
that's
them?
quite
Come
a feat, and one at a time as well, not all 4 at once. But at
How many do we see killed in the Clone Wars where they're just like, well, gotta kill all the Jedi?
Yeah.
Just shoot 'em in the face.
Yeah, but it's a rite of passage that this acolyte is going on to become a Sith apprentice to we assume the apprentice. What would you give it? What would you give the first episode, Elijah, out of 10?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I need to watch. It's good. I give it like a 6 or 7. Like I
6
don't
or
love it
7?
yet.
Okay,
but,
that's low. All right. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'd give it about.
I mean,
an 8
in the middle,
myself,
it's
too.
above in the middle. Like
Yeah.
I need to watch this next episode. I only watched the first episode.
Yeah.
But
I'll give the first episode about an 8, but I'll give the second episode an 8.5. I feel like we've definitely got room to move, and I feel there's a lot. There is so much that Leslie Headland, the showrunner, had to put forward to create this brand new time period. So there's a lot of information, a lot of characters, and I think she did a pretty good, solid job at a nice introduction that didn't feel like, really, Chris? Really, a 4? How many times have you rewatched it, Chris? I watched it about 3 times at this point, but
I only watched it once. I did like it, though. I mean, I think it was better than a lot of people are saying. I think there's some weirdness going on, especially on Star Wars Twitter, where as soon as those reviews came out where they were saying it wasn't great, I feel like the hive mind was just like, well, we're going to hate this show. It's not real Star Wars. I'm just enjoying it for what it is.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. The thing I enjoy about Chris is he actually does give a reason to why. There's a lot of people out there that don't give a reason. They just say they hate it.
I'm
they hate it.
Star Wars Twitter people in general who are just following the hive mind of one reviewer who didn't like
completely.
it.
Yeah. That's it, yeah. And as I said, Chris, you definitely, you're entitled to your opinions, but you do give us an opinion. You express why, and I do appreciate that. Just so you know, there are people out there that just rage on the hate of it, and it's like,
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
rage. I don't
yeah,
know. I think
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
those reviews were rage
yeah,
bait, where people are just like,
yeah.
I don't know. I
I
think people are so
Here's
quick
the other
to
thing.
agree on something they read instead of
We also
forming
don't
their
know we don't
opinions.
know the full story either. We don't know where this is
Yeah.
going. So at the end of the season, you might go back and go, I understand why they had to go through this. So I'm curious to see what is what's going on with it. I'm enjoying it either way. I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying this fresh new take. I'm enjoying it more than I did Andor, and I think because I am getting that little bit of Star Wars lightheartedness, I feel like the fact that we are seeing a lot more aliens and background aliens and stuff.
And
That's
Jedi
what
hurt.
that's what yeah. And the Jedi are one thing, but it's like the background stuff. We haven't seen the astromech droids yet. Which is kind of crazy. But I want to see what the astromechs look like in this time period, 100 years in the past. So,
What they're square.
Yeah.
but at the same time, I am enjoying it. I'm having fun with it. I feel like. Do you have any predictions at all at this point? I mean, obviously, a lot of the Jedi end up getting killed by this
I
point in
think
time.
Yoid's going to be Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, Yord's going to be Yord. Yeah, Yord is going to be Yord. I think that character serves a purpose as that light humor element, that comedy relief. And of course, we've got Kelnak, who's the Wookiee who's coming into episode 3. So
Kalnaka,
Kelnaka, sorry, Kelnaka, sorry, yes.
We didn't even mention Daphne Keenes. What's your name? What's your character's
Oh
name?
yes, sorry, yeah. Actually, sorry, I did pull up all the
She
characters.
was. I want to see more of her. I love Daphne Keene. I think she was great in
Yeah,
this show. I want to see
Jackie. Yeah.
Jackie. Yeah, I want to see more of her.
Yeah, she was great. Yeah, Kelnaka gets introduced at the end of the second episode. And then, of course, we've got Maeve and Osha, which
Kalnaka did
our
have me
leads.
thinking like how terrifying a Wookiee Jedi would be. Like he, not only are they known to rip people's arms off, he'll force pull you and then rip your arm off.
Oh yeah. Well, the other that's it. I mean, the thing with also it's Jonas who is playing the Kelnak as well, and Jonas took over for Peter Mayhew who played Chewbacca
Oh,
in the
nice.
sequels. So Jonas has got a particular walk. If you've seen this guy walk on stage, he's got a little bit of this weird kind of because he's lumbering and tall, and it feels like Jonas is that Wookiee for sure, which is kind of cool. But I'm looking forward to seeing what that story is all about, and seeing how that plays out as well. And then beyond that, we've seen a great deal of the stuff from the trailers. We've got a few scenes that haven't played out, but I am very curious to see how this show does go. Oh yeah, she also happens to be one of the race from Jabba's palace in the special editions as well. So they're
Wait,
playing
the
with
same race.
the same race, yeah. So we've got a few characters that are we've seen their races before.
And things
but
didn't
we've
work out, so she became a dancer. In Jabba's bar.
Not quite. Well, maybe she did. I don't
Her
know. Maybe
Jedi
she went
career
back.
got to be put on
Hang
hold.
around
Now
Yord all
she's
day.
a
You know what?
dancer.
The one main character we didn't go into is Venestra. Venestra actually
Is she even a main character? I mean, in the
Well-
High Republic, kind of, but like in this show, I don't think she's going to be that heavily featured.
I don't think so either, and I tell you why. Because Leslie Headland has mentioned that she's not planning on putting Yoda into, at least in season 1. And, Yoda sits in the top center spire. Basically, Venestra, at this point in time of her life, or in the High Republic, she was a brand new character in the last 100 years. This point in time in her life, she is number 2. She is the Mace Windu of just to give you context, Elijah, she's the Mace Windu of the Jedi Order at this point. She's the second in charge under Yoda. So she
You have to be
literally
bald
is,
to be a Windu.
you have to be, there you go. You have to be born to be the second in charge.
Okay.
And there you have it. But yeah, that's her position. That's her titlement in this particular show. So, and from the High Republic, of a character that they brought in. So, I don't think we'll see any of that or much of that. And if they do, it's going to be so minimal. And she's just this background voice barking a few orders here and there. And it gives them room to play with interesting characters that are not sitting at the top. And
Right.
so, yeah, I would be down for not seeing Yoda, or if so, it would have to be it had to be such a pivotal purpose of a moment seeing Yoda there. but not just to put Yoda in and say it's Yoda. He's there. We all know Yoda is up there, and all that. So yeah, everyone's opinion right now. It's like the opinions of Andor. Yeah, that's it. Flip the premieres. Everyone who hated Andor like this, and I see. Is the thing. I
like
didn't
both.
I didn't hate Andor either. I thought it was the best. It was the best quality show we had seen at that point in time. I even say that Andor has got. It's got a very different quality because there's a lot of open spaces, a lot of exteriors. With Acolyte, it's more interior, small streets, and to me, that always actually it's a mixture of the both. It spells out Star Wars. I love the small streets, the small windy corridors that they move around in, the back streets that feel like there's something happening on every corner, and I do enjoy that. But I just feel like for Andor, I wish there was a bit more alien race influence in there because that makes that feel of Star Wars feel like Star Wars. And I know that the showrunner for that said he was not intentionally wanting to put in too much of that. And it was like, okay. Anyway, we'll see. I mean, I'm still excited for Andor Season 2. I'm excited for every Star Wars that comes out. I'm always going to have fun with that. And yeah, it has been 2 years since Obi-Wan 2. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, any other thoughts you want to kind of put in at the last minute there for Acolyte?
Looking forward to more.
Yeah. Elijah?
It was good.
That's
we
cool.
gotta watch the next one. I'm one episode
Yep.
behind, so I gotta.
Yeah. Well, catch it before Tuesday, and we'll do a reaction on Tuesday evening, and we will drop our reaction for episode 3. I am very much looking forward to seeing a lot more story arcs. Anyway, guys, chat, thank you for joining us for today, and guys, thank you for coming in. And we basically a GoFundMe for Japan. It's just I don't even have. I got to get my passport renewed and all that sort of stuff too. But I'll leave Japan. I'll wait till it comes back to the States. Anyway, this is for a celebration next year, by the way. All right, guys. We shall catch you all later. Thanks a lot, and we shall see ya.